Part 1, Chapter 1. Most people never knew where I came from. Everybody always said Gainesville. Sometimes I'd correct them. I'd say Jacksonville, actually. But by the time I'd gotten to Jacksonville, Florida, I had lived in Orlando and Merced, California, and had spent a couple of miserable months in Okinawa. So I'm not even from there, but Jacksonville is where it all started, in the suffocating summer of 1965, when I was 15 years old and my whole life had fallen apart. I didn't know anybody there. I didn't have anywhere to go or anything to do. It was just my mom, my little brother Cliff, my little sister Kathy, and me. The long hot summer days crawled by. The white smoke of the paper mills along the Trout River made the air sour as sulfur. They called it the smell of money. Everything stunk. We lived in a run-down north side neighborhood called Sherwood Forest. It was full of trailers and vacant lots and grimy white houses with chain-link fences. My mom's whole family still lived in North Jacksonville. Her mom and her brothers and sisters and her violent, mean dad, who kicked their dog and once beat my grandmother so badly he broke her arm. First, we stayed at my grandparents' house, so my mom could be close to her mother and get her feet on the ground until she could figure out what she would do next, how she would care for us. But just 2 months after we got there, my grandmother died. We all slept in the extra bedroom of my Uncle Frank's house. Then we moved over to my Uncle Wilbur and Aunt Viola's house, where my cousin Shirley lived. She was my closest cousin, just a year older and so kind to me. The first night we got there, she sat me next to her on the piano bench and showed me her stride piano. My mother got a job packing boxes at the Save-A-Stop warehouse for $1 an hour and eventually got together enough for a deposit and a month's rent on the first of I don't know how many of those run-down duplexes we lived in. It had dirty windows and a broken stove, a warm fridge, and bars on the windows. I would go on to live in dozens of them, a different one every couple of months, and they were all the same: freezing all winter, suffocating all summer, brown water coughing out of the faucets, and black mold creeping out of the corners, sirens all night, gunshots, the smell of money. I started at Ribault High School in the fall of 1965. I was the quiet kid in the back. I knew the answers, but I never raised my hand. I would do my homework in the library after school, study to kill time, then catch the bus back to whatever dump we happened to be living in that month, with my books in one hand and my little radio in the other. Hard times came. It was a sad first Thanksgiving without my grandmother. It rained Christmas Day. My mother lost her job at the Save-A-Lot. Sometimes we had money for milk for our cereal. Sometimes we had money for her cigarettes. We never had enough for both. I would mop the floor. Chapter 3. In the summer of 1967, I got a job at Milligan's Burger Joint. I would mop the floors, clean the toilets, wash the windows, wipe down the tabletops, and haul the heavy bags of wet trash out to the dumpster in the back. I made 60 cents an hour. The first few paychecks were cool, and I spent them on records and guitar books, copies of Downbeat magazine, and skimpy nickels of shaky, seedy weed. I studied and did my homework, but I didn't know why I bothered. College costs money. Everything costs money. The only thing that didn't cost money was the Army. My dad told me there was security in the military. He said, "Consider it seriously, Mike." And I did, very seriously, watching Walter Cronkite report the body counts on the news every night, and the grainy footage of kids like me carrying the bloody bodies of mangled friends, hollowed-out faces, dead-eyed under helmets in some jungle. The old women weeping and pleading in Vietnamese. The little kids, frozen naked in black and white, burning with napalm. For what? For what? The Tet Offensive happened the night before my 18th birthday, the day I had to register for the draft. You got assigned a number between 1 and 366. Low numbers went first. Under 100 and you were going. My number was 86. One night at the burger joint, after we closed, I turned the big ape up loud behind the counter and pushed the yellow bucket of gray water to the front. Just as I slopped the wet rag mop onto the brown-tiled floor, a sharp crack of snare rang out, and like a rolling stone, blared out of the speakers. I had heard it before, of course. It was a big hit in 1965, but I hadn't heard it in a while, and it felt like Johnny B. Good that time, but in a deeper way. And again I thought, that's me, on my own, a complete unknown, with no way out, nowhere to go. Michael, we finally meet. Come in, come in. I sat in the chair in front of her desk. She opened a file and flipped through it. Why are you not keeping your appointment with me, Mr. Carter? Ma'am, this is the third time I've requested your presence. Carter? Aren't you Michael Carter? No, ma'am, I'm Michael Campbell. They sent me the wrong Michael. She closed the file. Are you a senior, Michael? Yes, ma'am. Well then, I will just meet with you now while I have you here. Am I in trouble? No. I'm meeting with all the seniors to discuss their plans for the future. The future? Yes, after graduation. What do you plan to do after Ribault? Get a job, I guess. I work at Milligan's. Do you enjoy that? Not really. I see. She closed the file on her desk. Campbell, she asked, with a P? Yes, ma'am. She left the room and came back after a few minutes with another file. Let's take a look. She sat down and opened the file on her desk. Michael W. Campbell, yes? I nodded. Now I've got you. I didn't say anything. She looked at me for a moment. Are you shy, Michael? My face got red, I guess. She smiled. I could tell. She flipped through a couple of pages of my transcripts. She looked surprised. Well, goodness. She flipped through a couple more pages, then flipped back to the first page. You have straight A's. She flipped through some of the papers. You've always gotten A's. This year, last year, every year. Look here, math, English, civics, science, all A's. Your grades are excellent. Okay, thank you. So what are your plans after graduation? I shifted in my seat. I don't know. I picked at the calluses on my fingertips. My dad wants me to go into the Army. Is that something that interests you? Not really. He's in the Air Force. At Cecil Field? He's in Okinawa. He got stationed there. When did he get stationed there? 4 years ago. Do you live with your mother? Yes, they're not together. Oh, where do you live? I looked down. Sherwood Forest. She closed the file. What does your mother do? I didn't say anything. She looked at me. Different things. She worked at the Save-A-Lot warehouse for a while and at a soda shop, but right now she's not working. It's hard to find jobs sometimes. My chest tightened. I didn't want to talk about it. I think she needs me to help, I said. Miss Collier looked at me with kindness in her eyes. Sometimes the best way we can help people we care about is to help ourselves first. So we will be better able to help others. She looked down at the file. These grades, Michael, surely you have considered college. I mean, why would you have worked so hard? I just wanted to do as good as I could. I didn't want to let anybody down. Don't throw all the hard work away. You need to go to college. I shook my head. We don't have money for that. Michael, there are resources. Your father's in the military. There are scholarships. There are loans. I don't know anything about that, ma'am. Well, I do. Where's your father stationed? I told her Kadena Air Base, and she made me spell it as she wrote it down. Michael, look at me. I can help you. I will help. You will? I looked down so she wouldn't see my eyes filling. When she went to the filing cabinet, I wiped my sleeve across them fast. Out of the filing cabinet, she pulled some papers. She handed me an application to the University of Florida. "Let's get you in Gainesville." She sent me to the bench outside her office to fill out the application. She had picked up the phone before I had even closed her office door. When I got home, I didn't tell my mom I had applied. I didn't think I would get in. And even if I did, I didn't think we would be able to pay a day's worth of tuition. I didn't know how much it was, but I knew it wasn't nothing. But Miss Collier had done something amazing. Not only had she called the admissions office at the University of Florida to let them know who I was and to expect my application, which she sent in herself, paying my application fee, but late that night, when it was first thing in the morning in Okinawa, she called Kadena and told them to begin the paperwork for an Air Force loan for my tuition as a son of an active service member. I had never spoken to her before that moment in her office, and I spoke to her only one other time. The morning after I got the acceptance letter, I went to her office to show her. I knocked on her open door and stuck my head in her office. She beamed at me. "Miss Collier, I got in. I got accepted." "I know you did." I just stood there in her office for a few seconds. I didn't know what to say. "I don't know how to thank you, Miss Collier. You just go to Gainesville, follow your dreams from there." My eyes burned and my throat got tight. "Yes, ma'am." "Promise?" "Yes, ma'am." "Have an incredible life, Michael," she said. "Do wonderful, amazing things with your gifts. See the world, make your mark. Thank me that way." "Yes, ma'am." I left by the side door and walked home alone, floating like I was in a dream. It was a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, and the Florida sun dried my tears of relief almost as fast as they rolled down my cheeks.